Michelle? Michelle? Oh my god.
The last murder was what, 20 years ago?
I made sure the job was done correctly. We'll look at the body. They'll know it's a suicide.
This has been the plan since day one. You're going to be the president.
There's no way this is suicide. I'm not buying it.
DA Maxwell Jenkins.
Yeah, but I doubt he's alone. There's got to be someone behind him.
It is the biggest smokescreen politics has ever seen. How else is a Republican supposed to win in Maryland?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Okay, thanks, John. Bye.
So let me get this straight. There's nothing more you want to say.
I want my lawyer.
Of course. All honest politicians do.
You too. I'd like a moment with my client.
Certainly.
Dan Villa writes, if a man kills someone, he should just confess.
I want to cuff him just as bad as you do. We don't know his involvement in this yet.
Well, what do we have so far?
His alibi is he stopped for cigarettes.
And I'm assuming you proved that false.
The place he stopped at doesn't sell cigarettes.
That's it? Oh, boy. Greg's gonna have a fit.
Excuse me, kid, who are you?
My apologies, gentlemen. Maxwell Jenkins. I've been assigned to the case as prosecutor.
Prosecutor? We don't even know if this is going to trial.
That's the idea.
What do you mean?
I got a call from Rich today. Yeah. Rich Johnson, head of law in Maryland. He said this case should avoid courtrooms at all costs.
Good lord. Are you kidding me? Rich can't do that.
Rich can do whatever he wants. Now give me your evidence.
All we have is his false alibi and obstructing justice.
I need Michelle Whitaker's autopsy and medical files. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
That kid, I heard a lot about you. Heard some good stuff. But I also hear you work like a speed demon. Be careful not to overlook anything.
With all due respect, sir, I can handle myself.
All right, my client is ready to speak now. Only to the prosecutor. He wants no part of you two.
Why is that? So we can change his story?
Watch it.
I don't know who you take my client for, but he is the governor and potential senator of this fine state, and you will treat him with the respect that he deserves.
Are we forgetting something here? He lied to the police. He obstructed a police investigation. Governor or not, I'm treating him with the respect he deserves.
Calm down.
No, he's right. Fair point. My client apologizes for the misunderstanding. He was so overwrought with emotion that he misspoke.
But that doesn't change the fact that he bought something from the general store. We'd like to know what that was.
Governor Whitaker's credit card was stolen that very evening from the office.
Of course. Somebody else's fault. Isn't it always?
I'm finding your attitudes to be entirely too accusatory, especially towards a man with such distinguished character. Now, I'm glad that we got this whole mix-up settled, and believe me, the governor wants the killer brought to justice as much as you guys do. But as far as I'm concerned, detective and officer, I should say, the only grounds you have for holding my client is perjury. And since we have that whole fiasco solved now, you really have no grounds to hold him. Am I right, Max?
Yeah, Greg. Take your client and go.
Finally, some sense.
What the hell were you doing talking to him like that? He could sue you if he wanted.
So how was your day, Emily? It was okay. I'm a little worried about the SATs next week, though.
You'll be fine. You're a junior. You can take it at least 2 more times.
I know, I just really want to do well the first time.
You will, Angel.
Thanks, Daddy.
Kevin couldn't make it for dinner?
No, he's at his girlfriend's house.
He and Megan do seem to be getting serious.
Kevin and Megan sitting in a tree. Kiss.
Sweetheart! There's a time and a place.
Sorry. Is your homework done?
For the most part.
What does that mean?
Who could that be?
I'm not expecting anyone.
Who could possibly be interrupting our dinner?
It's all right. I'll go see who it is.
Were you questioning James Whitaker?
Hey, asshole, keep your voice down. My family's eating dinner.
Answer my question.
I was questioning him because he lied to the police about his whereabouts during a murder.
That's just it. According to the doctor, Michelle killed herself.
I know what the doctor thinks. I've read the file. I'm looking into other possibilities. This doesn't matter.
It matters if you want to keep your job.
What?
Nothing. Never mind.
No. Not nothing. Not never mind.
Fine. There's talk at City Hall. They say you haven't done well the past couple of cases.
It's hard to have a constant conviction rate when there's one case every 5 months.
Hey, don't shoot the messenger, okay? It's just what I heard.
Good Lord. This is great. This is great. I need a conviction rate more than ever, and you're taking me off the biggest case in 20 years.
Officially.
I beg your pardon?
I may be new here, but Rich Johnson isn't usually a guy who makes phone calls.
No. He doesn't.
There's more to this. I just don't know what. I want you to keep looking, but tread lightly. Greg wants to meet with me tomorrow about the mistreatment of his client.
For Christ's sake.
It'll be fine. It's just Greg doing his victory lap. I'll bite the bullet on this one, but don't leave my neck out there hanging.
I won't. I think his most pressing issue is his alibi.
And this whole stolen credit card thing.
Glad you buy into this as much as I do.
Great. I'll see you. Oh, and Brandon, this conversation never happened.
Coming.
Hi.
It's been a while, Melinda. How did you find me?
The mayor's office. They told me you were working the Whitaker case.
Oh.
Art, just listen to me for 5 seconds. You have every right to be cross with me, and I don't blame you. I still blame myself from time to time. But please, I wouldn't be here unless it was extremely important.
All right. I'm listening.
Michelle Whitaker didn't kill herself.
Can you prove this?
Not in a court of law.
How do you know this?
As you know, I work in the hospital in pediatrics.
Yes.
I overheard Dr. Westbrook in the parking garage talking to someone after one of my shifts.
What happened?
It wasn't cordial, but I'm positive I overheard, but Michelle didn't kill herself. That's the point. I wasn't sure if the mystery person was paying him off or hanging it over his head.
Well, Dr. Westbrook hasn't always been the most upstanding doctor.
I know, but to think that he'd stoop to this level on his own, I can't see him doing that.
I guess. And you'd be willing to testify this under oath?
By my life.
Good. However, your testimony won't be much help.
What? Why?
Think about it, Mel. Dr. Westbrook has worked for the hospital for over 15 years. His reputation damn well speaks for itself. It'll be his word against yours. And you're my ex-wife. The ex-wife of the lead detective. Do you know how many red flags that would raise? And besides, I could be putting you at great risk since we don't know who's behind this yet.
I know, but I want to help. I want to help you.
You are. I'll talk to Brandon tomorrow out of the office.
I don't like all this off-the-book stuff. It's what led to our problems in the first place.
Sometimes it's the way you have to operate. Especially since we don't know who you can trust these days.
It's good to see you back in town, though. You haven't been here for years.
You hurt me, Mel. Needed to get away from here. The only reason I came back is this case.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
I know. It's getting late. You should go.
Yeah, I suppose. Good night, Arthur.
Finally.
was beginning to think you were gonna stand me up.
Standing you up? A beautiful woman such as yourself? I would never.
You're good.
I've been told.
So you asked me out on this date, so why don't you tell me about yourself?
The hotshot lawyer no one can shut up about, Mr. Maxwell Jenkins.
Simple story, really. Grew up in Massachusetts, near Boston, actually. Not sure if you can tell.
You hide it quite well.
Well, most juries aren't interested in hearing a Boston accent.
I can't imagine why.
What about you? You are quite the woman of mystery, Miss Roberts.
Laura is my first name. We'll start with that.
Good to know.
Very similar to you, actually. I grew up in a small town in northern New Jersey. My parents are very well off. I was daddy's little girl and I wanted to be a lawyer.
And you chose to be a paralegal?
I can't do public speaking. It's an embarrassment, really. I'd be doing any of my clients a huge disservice by representing them. But facts and statistics, I can handle those with a breeze.
Why such a small town in Maryland? All the way from Jersey.
My father has numerous connections up in the DC area, and this is just a holdover position until I can find something up there.
I had no idea.
I barely used my paralegal degree. I'm kind of surprised you knew I had it.
I do my research.
Noted.
Godfather on the rocks?
Thank you.
Now would you like anything to eat?
I hear the calamari here is to die for.
So let's go with that.
Alright, sounds great.
So how did you get into law?
My mother was killed by a drunk driver when I was 12.
I'm so sorry.
It helped me become the man who I am today. Ever since that moment, I've been interested in justice. I like to be the prosecutor because it means I get to send the guilty people to jail.
That's quite the responsibility.
And I take it very seriously.
So how did you end up in DC?
Graduate of Harvard Law, immediately went to New York City looking for work, but the only work they had was in Harlem. It changed me, working there. But it was worth it. And then I got a job in Manhattan at a good law firm, and now DC after 2 years there.
Dealing with the death of a loved one can be extremely difficult, especially when you're at the workplace. You take some time to get over it, but that doesn't help much. It can take years for someone to finally come to terms with a death. You get a few days at most, and then you're right back where you were, and it's like nothing ever happened. You try and distract yourself with your work, but nothing seems to help. You're lonely, you're depressed, and above all, you feel guilty. You push on, but to no avail. That's when you look to your friends for the help that you need.
How you doing, Jimmy? First day back?
You know I needed more time than this.
Look, I wanted to give you more time, but you have a press conference later today.
Couldn't reschedule till Monday? My wife did die after all.
Well, I could have, but I didn't. Look, if we want people to believe this, you have to be in top form. What's 3 days going to do? A miraculous recovery? I know it's hard, but you have to move on. Michelle is dead. Move on.
I don't like this.
I told you wouldn't from day one, but you were the one who said you would do whatever it takes. Have you changed your mind?
No. What time is the conference?
4. Why don't you go get lunch? You could use a break.
Thanks.
Do you want me to come with you?
No. I need some time to breathe. Clear my head.
All right.
So your ex-wife is saying that Michelle Whitaker did not kill herself?
Correct. She works at the hospital, and she said she overheard Dr. Westbrook talking with someone.
And we think that Dr. Westbrook is being forced to do this.
Yes.
All right, it's our only angle. Let's bring him in.
Right, but we can't on the Whitaker case. He'll see it coming.
Of course. All we have to do is dig up an old...
Case.
Well, look who's stepping up their game. Let's see. Roberta Garcia.
Typical case. She had surgery 7 months ago.
But it says here she died 8 months ago.
Exactly.
Insurance fraud. That'll get them nervous for all the wrong reasons.
I'll give him a call.
No, that would raise a flag. Why would you be concerned about this case now?
Well, what about Miss Roberts?
How do you figure?
Well, she's a secretary and paralegal. This file ended up on her desk 3 weeks ago, and she's just calling to make sure it was an insurance error.
Brilliant.
Miss Roberts!
Yes, officer. Hello, Mr. Jenkins.
Nice to see you again, Laura. Could you do us a favor?
Sure. How can I assist you?
I need you to call Dr. Westbrook and have him come in for questioning regarding this Garcia insurance fraud case.
Okay. Any specific instructions?
Just say we need him to make an appointment and to answer some questions. Say this file's been laying on your desk for a few weeks and we just need him to come in and tie up some loose ends.
Not a problem, officer.
You're not going to tell her the actual motive?
No. The less she knows, the safer she is. Good call.
So how'd it go at the general store?
Ultimately, someone from the Whitaker campaign bought something from the general store.
Great. Does the store have cameras?
No. Frank can't afford full coverage.
What about the receipt book?
That's just it. The store was robbed last night. Yeah. They took the receipt book and $50 from the register.
I'll be damned. We're getting in deep, aren't we?
I'm afraid so. We're dealing with the pros, gentlemen.
All done? He set up an appointment for Sunday morning.
Thank you, Miss Roberts.
Sure.
Ugh, Sunday.
I know, but he insisted it was one of his only free times.
And could you do us one more favor?
Certainly.
I need you to write up a warrant subpoenaing the American Express transaction. There was a robbery at the Montgomery General Store. We're going to need about a week's worth of transactions.
Sure. I'll get right on that for you.
Thank you.
Smooth move. A week's worth of transactions gives us...
Our mystery man. I'll get in any way I can.
Would you say it's hard knowing your wife isn't here?
Hard? No. Almost impossible. Waking up every day without my wife lying by my side is devastating. I loved my wife with all my heart. So much so that we're going to win this election for her. Don't just vote for me. Vote in memory of Michelle. Her life was taken away far too soon. It's just not fair.
Do you still plan on attending the debate next week?
Absolutely. This would be even worse if I didn't win this election. Of course I'll be there.
Quite the noble man.
I'm an ordinary man, just like everyone else.
Hardly. You're heroic. Thank you.
Once again, I'd like to thank my campaign workers for working without me in this last week. Without you, I'd be nothing. Thank you very much. No further questions.
You heartless bastard.
I learned from the best.
Couldn't have handled it better myself. Relax, you're off camera.
It was easier than I thought it would be.
Well, I mean, part of what you said is true.
That's the part I focus on.
Attaboy. Alex here? Yeah, I'll be there tonight at 8. I've got to run, have another meeting.
All right. I'll see you on Monday.
Don't do anything stupid this weekend.
Well, I'm here. What do you want?
So how's it going on your end?
Things are going well. Everything's in full swing.
What the fuck are you talking about? Look, kid, You got some nerve to think you could come in here and lie to me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Save it. The police aren't buying the suicide thing. We should have went with something different.
No, we did this right.
I don't give a fuck what you think. Do you think you can orchestrate an entire operation on your first go-around? You're nuts. Of course there's turbulence. You're a virgin. It's gonna be rough and painful.
Flattering comparison.
You better fix it. I'm not fucking around. People are starting to think I got the wrong man for the job.
You didn't.
Then prove it.
What are you talking about?
The hitman, the doctor when you're done with him.
I'm not a murderer.
You killed your sister.
Not directly.
Keep telling yourself that, kid. You'd be surprised what people do when success is on the line.
This conversation is over.
Whatever you say, kid. Whatever you say.
Fuck you.
No loose ends.
When you're a criminal mastermind, you're responsible to make sure that all the elements function perfectly. In order to walk away cleanly, it's imperative that this occur. One loose screw, one rusty nail, and the entire operation can crumble, leaving you exposed. You have to make sure all your ducks are in a row, every step of the way. Otherwise, you're fucked.